Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regular open meeting of the United Laguna Woods Mutual Board of Directors. It's a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Today's Thursday, November 13th. We are in the boardroom on El Toro Road. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct the regular United Mutual Board meeting in accordance with California Code 4930 and was hereby noticed in accordance with Civil Code 4920. We are now called to order. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Director Willis.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any media in the room today? I do not see anybody. Thank you. I'd like to ask for approval of today's agenda. Approve second? Tony? Any no questions? Any improvements? Okay. Vote for it. All those in favor? So moved. Thank you. All right. Now let's get approval of the meeting minutes from the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings, both the United Board, the open meetings, special open meeting, and agenda prep. Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second? Thank you, Maron. Anybody against this motion? So moved. All right, I get a minute here to speak, and I can't say enough about this board and the way they're operating, and it's a pleasure to be the president because everyone here looks at logical decisions, and it makes good sense. Even if somebody has an opposite view, everybody listens to it. So it is actually a pleasure to be in this position and going forward. And I know we're going to see some changes. We're going to get a couple new board members here shortly to fill in the people who left. Director Jeannie Costello is now on the GRF board. She is their first VP. So that opened up a vacancy. So right at today, we have 2 vacancies. So going forward, I know that there's plenty of people out there that will be watching us and hopefully coming forward to fill out applications for these vacancies. And we'll continue to be the board we are. One of the note that I would like to mention is there's a class being held by the PC Club by Jim Hopkins. You can register for it. It's an overview of Leisure World's concept history, development, and growth, and Laguna Woods background, history, and structure. The class is designed to support residents in understanding Laguna Woods Village history, purpose, governance, processes, and encourage all residents to participate in sustaining its future. Excellent, excellent class. So if you'd like to get up to par with what's happening and know the history of this great village, it'd be a good thing for you to attend. Oh, when is it? That's a good question. It is December 15th at 10 a.m.
Do we need to register?
And to register, you can go to thepcclub.org. Any questions on that? All right. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's go on. Like I said, it's a great board, and I think we're going to have a good year. So we get open forum. Okay, I need to read this a little bit. At this time, the members may address the Board of Directors regarding items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the Board of Directors. The Board reserves the right to limit the total amount of time allotted for the open forum to 30 minutes. A member may speak only once during the forum. Speakers may not give their time to other people, of course. No audio or video recording by attendees, and no rude, threatening comments. Members can attend the meeting by joining the Zoom link, which is available at the Laguna Woods website, and they can also call in. At this time, if there's any member who wishes to speak, please come forward. Paul?
Yes. First speaker is Jim Hopkins.
Good. Is this on? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Most of you know me as a board member who has been on several boards, but today I come to you as another board member, a board member of the History Center of Laguna Woods. I'm a trustee there. And as a result of that, what I want to do is offer all of you the opportunity to visit the History Center, either online at lagunawoodshistory.org, or actually visit there. It's right next to the library, for those of you who are not aware of it, especially online, or viewing this online. But it's right next to the library, okay? And outside of Clubhouse 1. But I mean, it opened my eyes when I started to visit the History Center. It opened my eyes as Dean and Gail Dixon started to talk about 16,000 years ago how this land was occupied. In terms of the Ashaman Nation was here. They understand that. They've actually had representatives from the Ashaman Nation visit the History Center and give presentations. So it is a wide history that we now come to call this Laguna Woods, Leisure World, whatever we want to call it. But it's rich in history. They also have village history there. And so we understanding the background and of the village is also very important to us as board leaders. I know I learned a lot. I mean, for instance, Moulton and Nellie Gale. Now, this land was Moulton, and Nellie Gale was his wife. De Carlotta was, Charlotte was one of his daughters. De Louise was one of his daughters, or her daughters. So all of these things start to come together when you start to understand and bounce around the history of it. So I encourage everybody to visit either online or through Facebook, by the way. You can visit Facebook. We have over 1,000 followers on Facebook. We want more because we want interest in the history. This is a rich history. The area is rich in history, as well as the village is rich in history. So stop by. It's open from 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. And it is, or by appointment. And you can make an appointment by calling 949-206-0150. And just as a note, the center is not affiliated or supported by the governing structure of the village and is supported entirely by endowment, donations, and volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next speaker is Janet Diaz.
Good morning. I just wanted to make you all aware of an issue we have in our building area, a carport area, and we've also heard it's a Laguna Woods issue. So we have rodents chewing our car wiring in the engine bays, causing $1,000 of damage to our to our cars. One resident already had to pay $3,000 to have their car rewired. A second resident has had to pay twice to have their car redone. So currently, Laguna Woods does have some bait boxes out, but doesn't seem to be very effective because of problems occurring. At our dumpster site, we do have 2 large dumpsters in addition to one of those small trash cans where people put food scraps. Also, we notice in our area some locations have a lot of storage on their patios, which is a good home place for rats. Some people feed animals, there's all sorts of things that bring the rodents. So there is an abundant food source for them, is what we're told by exterminators. So, we'd like to see if we could have maybe that small trash can relocated, if that would help. Also, we'd like to see if you could educate residents about the rodent infestation so they're aware of it. Currently, we are spraying our carport. There's 3 of us now doing this. We're spraying our carport with the rat spray. We have ultrasonic technology my husband puts in the hood of the cars. And we're going to also get plugins for the whole carport area. And we've also looked into having dash pest control. And they said initial cost would be $250 for buildings 471 and 472 and $50 per month thereafter, but that's expensive. So we just want to make you aware of this issue. Residents cannot afford to spend $3,000 and then the next day it could happen again. We've noticed on our car, how you get that black film on your car around the tires? And so when the rats step there, you can see their little paw prints. My husband's opened the engine and you can see their little paw prints. Why they didn't bite in our car, I don't know. But it's an issue, so we'd like you guys to address this because one of the residents who had her car repaired, the car repair place said, oh yeah, Laguna Woods has the biggest issue of this. They see it all the time. So if you could just address this for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
We actually have an email from Chris Collins. Chris Collins, 3306Q. I am here with an update of the work done by the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. Please repeat. I couldn't hear you. How many times have we heard that? Are you the one having difficulty hearing? Is lack of money holding you back from getting in hearing aids? New funding recently became available to help Laguna Woods Village residents purchase hearing aids if personal finances are the problem. The Foundation of Laguna Woods Village was one of the 138 nonprofit agencies of the 1,004 applicants chosen to receive $50,000 in special grant funding from the Samueli Foundation's Breakaway Fund this October. With this grant fund, the foundation is thrilled to be able to provide expanded benefits to village residents. If you believe you can benefit from the new grant program, please follow these steps. Step 1, do you have a hearing loss and think hearing aids will help you? If so, find out through a hearing screening or test. Several options are available. For example, if you are an AARP member, you can take a phone-based hearing test for free once a year. The website of Hearing Loss Association of America, Orange County chapter, provides a link to a free online hearing test. HearingLossSCA.org. Many health insurance programs cover the cost of hearing screening or tests, or your primary care physicians can do a preliminary screening. Costco provides hearing tests for its members and offers reasonably priced hearing aids. Step 2, do you have the financial resources to pay for the hearing aids? If not, the next step is to contact Laguna Woods Social Services. Please call them at 949-597-4267 to make an appointment to find out whether you qualify for financial assistance from the foundation or to verify insurance if your insurance is applicable. However, please note that you may be eligible for financial assistance even with health insurance that provides some hearing aid benefits. You must be a Laguna Woods resident to participate in this program. Treating hearing loss is essential. Untreated hearing loss can increase the risk of dementia, cause social isolation, decrease mental sharpness, and affect balance. We can help. For more information about hearing and financial assistance, please contact social service at 949-597-4267 or the foundation at 949-268-2246 or at foundationlwv@gmail.com. And that is it.
Thank you, Paul. Director Liberatore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to comment on what Ms. Diaz said. I had the good fortune of meeting Ms. Diaz and the residents up in that cul-de-sac, And it's really alarming, the stories that they've told me what's going on up there. So I invited her to come here and the other residents to tell us of their issues. And she's made this wonderful paper that I'd be glad to share with other people here. But I'd like to encourage staff to look into this and get back to us with a report. Obviously, it's something really concerning to have to put money out of your pocket to repair your car because the rats or the squirrels are eating the harness in there. So I'd like some assurance that staff is going to look into this and get back to us. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We'll follow up and see what has been done and what we need to do to try to come to a resolution or mitigate the issue that Mrs. Diaz and others are experiencing in the cul-de-sac.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Oh, 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I want to know that I've lived this. I had a car that had one of the cables completely, 8 wires were chewed up. And when I removed my battery, they had a nest in my trunk, in my hood. So I've lived it, I understand it, and we'll definitely got a bullet point there. Director Kwan, yes.
Thank you for coming in today. This ties in exactly to what we're trying to do. Unfortunately, the state of California adopted legislation that said that we had to use less potent rodenticide. And the reason being is that raptors, owls, I don't know, coyotes, whatever, who eat these, they would inadvertently kill them. So what has happened is that the rats have to go more often to the trap in order to get the same amount to kill them, to stop this. So what we have done to try to mitigate some of this, and in response to the coyotes, is on today's program, on the agenda, it is 12E, and it is to entertain a motion to approve the fruit tree and vegetable policy. And what that means is that when residents leave, we will pull out their fruit trees at no cost, because many times the fruit lies on the ground, and what would a rat prefer to eat? Poison pellets or nice juicy oranges and things like that. So this could be controversial, but the reason we're doing that is to try to stop some of this.
Director Hi, Kathy. Good morning,
Kathy's
Kathy.
good. Hi. I do have a solution. It's rather unorthodox, but it does work. I have a very dear friend who lives down in La Mesa, surrounded by trees, creeks, and everything. Get several bars of Irish Spring, grate it, and put it in your engine, and it will stop the rats from chewing the cables. When I parked my car down there for a month when I went on vacation, I did that, and I had no problems. But she did have the same thing you did where they ate her wires. Irish Spring works perfect. Just grate it slightly and put it throughout the engine, and it will work. And that's a solution, a short solution if you'd like, but it does work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who knew? Who knew? Thank you. Maggie, do we have any more responses? Do we have any more responses? No. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. We have the CEO report now by Carlos Rojas from VMS. Go ahead, Ron.
President Fit,
No, I'm sorry.
Are we going to address the responses to past open forum speakers?
Oh,
Oh.
payments. I didn't get any.
Actually, there was one, and it was by me before I joined the board, and this was about a month and a half ago. It has to do with the do not enter sign in cul-de-sac 85, where cars are parking in front of the do not enter sign. Cars are going the wrong way. One vehicle did get a ticket because they went the wrong way and parked the wrong way. And at that meeting, CEO Foster said that they were sending someone out to take a look at it to possibly raise it above the car, and I've not heard a word, and it's very dear to my heart. I have pictures just recently of vehicles blocking that sign again, and Georgiana lives in the same cul-de-sac, and you are aware of all of the cars that block that sign as well. And it can be very dangerous because we have a lot of people going the wrong way to even leave. So I'd like to know what was done concerning that from a month and a half ago. And I can find my records if you'd like of when we talked about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Usually what happens is that the person who is to do that announcement receives a paper the day or two before that they read, but I have received no paper,
seen your
so I
paper.
can't tell you anything. So thank you for
All right,
that.
if you could look into it, because at that meeting, the CEO did state they sent someone over that day, and I was expecting a response, but I never got one, so.
What
I-
cul-de-sac
So
was that?
I'm sure that Siobhan looked into the matter. Unfortunately, we don't have the update from the past open forum speakers today. We're going to look and see if we can get it later at this meeting, and we'll be able to read it at some point. But also, you can always email Carlos, Catherine, or Siobhan for a follow-up on any concerns that you have.
Okay, I appreciate that, but they assured me that it would be addressed, and so I did not respond to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bravada. All right, now we have the CEO report by Carlos.
All right, good morning, President Prater, members of the board. Got a brief report for you today. So as you know, November 2nd was daylight savings time, so it was fall back. Oftentimes we associate falling back as an extra hour of sleep, but we do want to remind our members that both physical and emotional issues can come up as a result of adjusting to the time change. So a very valuable resource that we have here in the village is social services, which is located here in this building at 24351 El Toro Road, so right down the hall. And their phone number is 949-597-4267. And also, you can take a look online at lagunawoodsvillage.com under services and then social services. Also, a holiday decoration reminder. While we love the reindeers and the gnomes on the lawn and what have you, we really encourage our members to keep those decorations off the lawns. Our landscaping folks stay a foot away per their procedures from any decorations because we don't want to damage anyone's decorations or ruin the holiday spirit at all. So we just keep those decorations out of the trees for the safety of our tree trimmers and off the common area landscape. We'd really appreciate that. The mowing weeks this month are November 10th and November 24th. So just a reminder to all our members. And then also, if they would like more information, they could contact resident services at bmsinc.org or call them at 949-579-4600. And then we do have a new coyote awareness on the website. As you know, the coyotes have gotten a lot of attention recently, and there's been a lot of efforts and collaboration between the city of Laguna Woods, Laguna Beach Animal Services, BMS, and then members of the various boards as well. As we all know, safety of our pets and all our members here in the village is of primary importance. So we know we live right next to a wildlife area, and so it's not going to be uncommon to have these sightings of wildlife, and coyotes are ever present throughout California and here in Orange County as well. So for additional guidance through animal services as to when you should call 911 or when you should report a sighting, please take a look at the Laguna Woods Village website and the new landing page that exists on our website under lagunawoodsvillage.com. And then also there's a reporting page where you can make reports online, or you can call them up as well. But online it is lagunawoodsvillage.com under the services tab, then the coyote awareness and reporting. And so we want to make sure that we keep the attention on this issue, because we know members have had issues with seeing their pets get attacked, and we want to try to eliminate that as much as possible. So there's a lot of guidance that both the city and Laguna Beach Animal Services provides that will be helpful to the members. Next are team construction updates. So currently the crews are working in zones 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 11. This covers the southeast area near gates 1, 3, and 4. And residents may notice building pre-wiring, bulb placement, and fiber pulling to prepare infrastructure. In the next 30 to 60 days, this will be expanded to zone 5 and 13, which is near gates 2 and 5, and we'll begin work in the northeast area. Crews will work efficiently to minimize any disruptions. And then team does appreciate everyone's patience on this very large and really historic project. It's the largest thing we have going right now in the village. So also, if there are any questions, we do have our team has an ambassador program, and of course our staff is always available to answer any questions. But we encourage members to visit teaminternet.com/Laguna Woods Village, or they can email Laguna Woods Village Construction at team.com. That's Laguna Woods Village Construction at team.com. And lastly, want to discuss our Employee Excellence Awards. And this is presented yearly, both in the spring and fall. And it's really to recognize our employees who have demonstrated excellent customer service, have achieved great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond their regular job duties. And while some of you may have been in attendance at the award ceremony, I do want to briefly just acknowledge and recognize some of the employees by name and by their department. So in maintenance and construction, we had Sandra Spencer, who was recognized. She's an administrative assistant. Zarina Lavello, who's an administrative coordinator. And Jocelyn Flores Castillo, who works in damage restoration. And those were all our folks recognized from maintenance and construction. And then on the recreation side, we had Kenneth Fry, who's a technician at Clubhouse 4, Ryan Vigil, who's a specialist out in Clubhouse 3, and then in security services, Francis Roberts, who's one of our social workers just down the hall. And then our landscaping services, we recognize employees Jose Almanza, Jose Tero Salinas, Carlos Cortez Montes, and Carlos Vicab. And then lastly, General Services Broadband Team. As you know, this was a very, very heavy lift. And what's really amazing about that broadband team, there's over 125 years of experience with that team there. And that includes Gene Nadal, Mark Debinian, Hank Deming, Veronica Call, Lee Vasquez, and Miguel Sandoval. And we offer our congratulations to all the members of that team as well as all the other employees, and we thank the boards, each and every one of you, for your ongoing support for our employees, because we know we rely on them heavily each and every day, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos. That brought up something of when he mentioned the word coyote. We know that's a hot word in our village. Last month, there was a meeting with the city of Laguna Woods. What's down the street here? El Toro. Anyway, they had a meeting, and Chris Malcolm, the city manager of Laguna Woods, took one of the ideas that we shared, and we now have available business-size cards, okay? And these cards actually have a picture of a coyote, but it does imminent danger or attack, dial 911, as we all do know. But it also has here report sightings to the non-emergency coyote hotline with the number on it, okay? And on the back, it also shares, if you see, stand tall, shout, and do the things that we've been preaching that I know everybody does know, okay? and it recommends walking with a friend. But it also says on here some things that need to be reported. Dogs must be on leashes, 6 feet, and there's also a phone number to report these. So we do have them. Chris has given us at least 250 of these to hand out and to people, because we all see it, we all want to do it, and we get home and we don't do anything about it. So as a reminder, we can give these to people on our walks. I do when I'm walking. I'll hand these out to people. So we have these are available, and thank you for bringing the coyote note back in. All right. Okay. The consent calendar. This is all matters listed under the consult calendar are recommended for action by the committees and will be enacted by the board of directors in one motion. In the event that the items is removed from the consent calendar by members of the board, such items will be subject to further discussion and action by the board. Do we read these, Maggie?
I can
No.
read.
No, we don't read them. We
I
just
can
make a motion.
Okay.
We usually just,
Okay, so can we get a motion for this, please?
I'm,
We accept the consent calendar.
Okay, second? Thank you, Elsie. All right. All those in favor, please? Unanimous, thank you very much. Okay. We have recommendations from the Landscape Committee. Do we read these, Paul?
No, so you approved all the stuff on the consent calendar already, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll move on to unfinished business.
unfinished.
All right, unfinished business. Oh, good, that took a lot of good stuff out. Unfinished business. I think Francis is here for a disciplinary report. Good morning.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Mr. President. So before you is Agenda Item 11A, the disciplinary update report. So the Compliance Division is responsible for the disciplinary or the rules enforcement of the community of the village. And before you is a breakdown of the disciplinary cases for the past 3 months of August to October. I'm going to review a couple of the noteworthy items. We did start the month with 339 cases and ended the month with 341 cases. The items of noteworthy are breezeway clutter, carport clutter, and overall clutter has decreased, with the exception of patio clutter, which has slightly increased. Additionally to that, the landscape restrictions and maintenance restrictions or violations against the maintenance items have increased. That is short and sweet, and that concludes my report. So I'm available if the board has any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Point of
Mr.
order,
Director?
Mr. President, we skipped over committee assignments.
No, that's part of the consent calendar, so we did not skip over that. That was approved.
Yeah, but it's wrong. It has, the committee assignments are not up to date.
Director Prater,
Yes,
I think we approved it as
a group.
previously, and perhaps we could work on the committee assignments at another date. I think you had tried, we're trying to wait until we had 2 more on board to complete that, but I
That's not
could
the
be wrong
point.
on
The
that.
point is that we just approved something that's incorrect. And I want it to be memorialized that the committee assignments as they are stated here are not correct. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, anybody have any questions for Francis? Okay, thank you, Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I
Director
do
Paul.
have a question for
Oh.
Francis.
Yes, ma'am.
I was looking at our various fines and how much we can charge per fine. And I know that's been capped by some recent HOA legislation. And, but I think we need to look at adding a few things, and I'd like your recommendation as to how to do that. Part of it is like feeding the coyotes, feeding the squirrels, which ultimately feeds the rats with the seed falling down. Where should we go about that? Should we be looking at that in the landscape committee? Should we be asking for a separate committee or governing docs? Or where should we start that process?
So you already have it. And I'll backtrack a little bit to kind of just give a big overview of what's transpired. On June 30th, state law did change that that capped your disciplinary.
Point of order. Yeah.
Thank you. So on June 30th, state law did pass that capped the disciplinary fines. It provided a very narrow path for rules enforcement of the community, and it capped the fine at $100. However, that same state law had language that if the board chose to pursue and enact findings that anything that's considered of health or safety could then go have additional fines imposed. Not additional, but the cap would be more higher. So this board did elect to go down that route. You did, if I'm not mistaken, a couple months ago, I think in October, you did pass a health and safety findings resolution, which states that any member found to be in violation that also includes a health or safety component would have higher disciplinary fines, up to $500 and in some instances per incident. So now bringing it down to the coyotes and the squirrels or feeding the wildlife, that does constitute a health and safety concern. There are 3 rules or regulations that you have in your governing docs that will include anything related to feeding the coyotes. That's your nuisance restrictions, that's landscape rules, and that also includes their specific wording about like what you're going to review today, the trees that are out in common area. So when a member comes before the disciplinary hearing committee, if they are found to be in violation of anything that's health and safety, such as feeding coyotes, you could increase the fine to $500, and you could also be very aggressive to be every incident that was confirmed by security or there's confirmation evidence supporting that. So you do already have it in play. The Executive Hearings Committee is very assertive in imposing fines when appropriate. So this would be something that they would consider the details on to see to what extent a fine should be imposed.
Thank you, Francis.
You're
Problem
welcome.
solved. Okay.
Director Maggie?
Yes, the committee assignments change frequently, so we have them almost monthly published in the agenda. Each month, they vary slightly because someone comes and someone goes.
Right.
So it's not like it's written in stone for the next 6 months. We all know it isn't. So look forward to next month for a different committee agenda, because we will have other arrangements made. Thank you.
Okay. Francis, anybody more questions for Francis? Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I'll make a little remark about the committee assignments. Changes that were shown here were changes that happened last month. There was also changes that happened yesterday in our committee assignments. So it's sort of sometimes evolving at all times. It's pretty hard to keep up with it sometimes. Like I said, the changes that even Tony is noticing here is we lost a director who had a lot of the input for the committees. And this was yesterday afternoon, and we didn't get an hourly update on this. So next month, we hope we'll have a proper list. It's hard to do it in real time when we're going this day before. Okay? Is that okay? Are we on the law here? Are we okay?
As Catherine provided, she feels left out.
Don't feel that.
Evolve. Okay.
I did go to the maintenance. I did fill in last month for the maintenance and construction, but I did not take any notes, so I'm glad you said none right there, because I didn't have any notes to report.
Okay. Very good. All right, now, I think we can now go to the committee reports to get a financial report. Rod? Do we
What
have one?
number are you?
We're going to be on 11B, entertain a motion to approve the amended membership election and voting policy.
What?
11B is in
11B, we're on
boy,
11B
sorry.
right now.
11B.
And Maggie will read this.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, 11B, okay. All right, membership election and voting policy. I'm on the pink page. Whereas the board recognized the need to amend the membership election and voting policy to align with the current California Civil Code and provide clarity. Now therefore be it resolved November 13, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the revised membership election and voting policy as attached to the official minutes of this meeting. Resolved further that Resolution 012240, approved June 14th of 2022, is hereby superseded in its entirety and canceled. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. This is the 28-day notification for member review and comments has been ended, and so this complies with Civil Code 4360. I move this resolution.
So do we have a second?
I second.
Director Huang, do we have any opposed for this resolution?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
When I was reading this, it says now that the United Board members are elected for 2 terms. And I thought prior to that,
Could you tell us the page?
I wish I could maybe. But anyway, it's,
What is it you're saying?
I think we had historically had it that 2 terms would be the limit, and then you had to step off for a year. And then I read that, then that section came out somehow, some way, if I remember correctly, and now it's back to 2 terms, which I support. I think that's reasonable. But do you know why?
Oh, we have a 2-term consecutive maximum.
Right.
If you're on the board for 2 terms, this is my second, I must take a year off before I can be on the board again. And so that has always been one of our rules, and that will continue.
Okay, thank you.
That's in our bylaws, I believe, too.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, can we have a vote, please?
If you can vote on the screen if you don't mind.
Oops. Okay, we are voting.
Okay.
And if you have trouble with the touchscreen, just please use the mouse that you have as well. Okay, motion passes.
His mouse is up in the corner here. I can't get it.
We're good.
Oh, there, good. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, it passes. Thank you. The next one, Maggie?
Okay. (11C), Resolution 0125XX, Revised Elevator Platform Lift Policy. Whereas the United Laguna Woods Mutual recognizes the need to review standards and policies as necessary, and whereas the mutual agrees that the mutual recognizes the need to revise Standard 13 lifts and lift policy, and whereas the mutual agrees that in order to provide updates and clarity, the standard and associated policy have been combined into one new policy. Now therefore be it resolved November 13th, 2025, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts revisions and amendments to elevator platform lift policy as attached to the official minutes of this meeting, and resolve further single-source procurement shall be permitted in the acquisition and installation of mechanical lifts, and resolve further Resolution 01-1885, adopted August 14, 2018, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. The 28-day notification for member review and comments to comply with 4360 has been satisfied. I move this resolution.
Do we have a second? Murad, thank you. Any questions? Okay, we have a vote, please, on the screen. You're on.
Okay, motion passes.
Vote passes, thank you. All right. And I think that takes care of unfurnished business. All right.
Yes.
Now we're into new business now. We do not have a town hall representative at this moment. Do we, tomorrow's town hall? Jeannie is now on GRF. Do we have a town hall that was scheduled, do you know?
I don't know.
I think it was announced in the paper, but we can find out. I was wondering, as a possibility for the town hall, I know that all the paperwork for the upcoming year is coming out to explain our new HOA fees and that sort of thing. I understand that we did a presentation several months ago on our finance, but would it be possible to do that again for the people who were not able to make it at that meeting? We need a topic for Friday. And
Yeah, we do.
yes, and so I think it would be very timely if we did that presentation one more time.
And who
If
gave-
you would be willing to do it. That was Murad and yourself?
You're not available tomorrow?
Yeah, okay, well then, I don't have any other ideas. We'll have to decide what we want to do.
We'll have to decide who will chair this,
Okay.
take this responsibility. I think it's a little late to put out an announcement now
Okay.
for a meeting for tomorrow.
Excuse me, can Carlos tell me if it's been advertised or not and how we would cancel it?
Yes, it has November 14th, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Right.
It's supposed to take place at the PAC.
Right,
Right,
yeah.
right. Okay, if you think people will come, we can put Murad on.
He's not going to be available.
He's not available.
He's not available.
Okay, so,
Luis, Elsie.
I'm not available either, and I'm not volunteering. However, go ahead and have the town hall and play it by ear. You know,
Right.
if there's 5 people, get to know each other, and if there's 100 people, say, okay, open mic.
Open mic bound town
Yeah,
hall?
I mean,
okay, so we can have a town hall without a topic.
Without
That's
a
true.
program.
And that's all right.
We will have an open mic town hall tomorrow
Okay.
at 2 o'clock at the PAC.
One thing that we had discussed a while back was shortening the town halls so that 2 hours a lot of times is a bit much for some people. They may have back issues and stuff like that. And I think we discussed that, and I don't know where that's gone or not.
Well, what we do is we have the town hall that starts at 2. If it ends at 2:30 and there's no more questions or not a topic that's going forward, we call it to an end. We have the time for 2 hours. We don't have to run 2 hours. Yes, Maggie?
Even if it's a busy one, we always have a break after an hour. So people are free to leave whenever they want, actually.
Yeah.
So,
there will be a town hall tomorrow.
okay.
Okay. All right, we're on with new business. We didn't. Committee report.
Okay.
Treasury report. We do not have a treasury report, or we do? Ron?
So we're going to be on item 12B right now. Entertain a motion to.
Go B, okay. We're going to entertain a motion to approve the amended vehicle parking and traffic rules. Is it,
All right,
all right?
all right.
Thank you.
This is 12B, page 5 of 102, Resolution 0125XX, Vehicle Traffic and Parking Rules. Whereas the Security Department is responsible for the administration of the Laguna Woods Village Vehicle Traffic and Parking Rules, and whereas the Golden Rain Foundation has recognized the need to amend the vehicle traffic and parking rules with removal of the traffic school, now therefore be it resolved that December 9th, 2025, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the amended vehicle traffic and parking rules as attached to the official minutes of this meeting, and resolve that Resolution 01-1960, approved on August 13, 2019, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. A member postpones the resolution. I will postpone the resolution to the next available board meeting, no less than 28 days from the postponement, to comply with Civil Code 4360. So this is the first announcement. I move this resolution.
And do
Second.
Elsie seconds. Any approvals? Raise your hand, please. Voting yes.
We're doing it on screen.
Oh, you're right, screen.
Motion passes.
Passes, okay. Next one, Maggie.
Here we go.
I believe we're on 12C. are we not?
12C.
Yes, yeah,
right.
she's
Yes.
getting it, yeah.
Okay.
Resolution 0125XX, alteration fee schedule. Whereas alteration and variance requests require significant staff time for proper processing, including research, report preparation, presentation to the appropriate committee and board, and whereas several tasks are performed in conjunction with the alteration and variance requests, namely plan check changes, mutual consent re-inspections, and correction notice re-inspections, and whereas in order to account for the staff time spent processing the tasks above, the board has adopted a 2025 alteration fee schedule, and whereas the 2025 alteration fee schedule more accurately reflects the fees associated with all the administrative time it takes to process all the associated tasks. And whereas that the variance processing fee indicated is an up to but not to exceed amount, now therefore be it resolved December 9th, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this resolution hereby adopts revisions to the alteration fee schedule as attached to the official meeting minutes And resolve further that Resolution 01-17-149, adopted September 7th of 2017, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that Resolution 01-1922, adopted February 12th, 2019, is hereby superseded and canceled. Resolve further that Resolution 01-2315, adopted March 14th, 23, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that Resolution 01-2360, adopted November 14th, 2023, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that Resolution 01-2565, adopted June 10th, 2025, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that future revisions to the alteration fee schedule will be reviewed and undertaken as one cohesive resolution every year with board approval. Resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. I move this resolution.
And do we have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Sue?
Yes, I received a notice. Could Alan Grimshaw come up to the mic? Would that be possible? He is the director of this area, the manager in this area. And when we were at committee, we went through this very carefully and tried to be as fair as possible on the fees while collecting the money that is due us. So we didn't want to go too far, but we did want to cover our costs. In the interim, I received a message from Dick Rader, and he had a valid point. He had said, if staff time exceeds the minimum allotted for each item, additional time should be billed at $44.03 per hour. His concern was, and I think he might still be in the room, was that the whole group, our whole, all of United residents shouldn't pay for one person's improvement. I don't know if this is something that you're concerned about, because I think you can come back at any time and tell us that these fee schedules need to be moderated. Is that true, or how should we address this concern?
Well, good morning to all of you, first off. The background, when we do the research, we look at the time it does take. We look at the current inflation rates, and while there are no two mutual consent processes that are the same, on average, these fees are established based on the majority of mutual consents that are processed. Some may be less, some may be more. So we've established a standard fee for that process based on our background and experience. To make every fee an adjustable fee, depending on how long it would take an enormous amount of staff time. So we've arrived at a standard fee for the before the tasks that are given them. They are, because it has been 7 years since these were last reviewed, there is verbiage in the new resolution, for these to be reviewed on an annual basis. Good. From here on in.
Thank you. That was very helpful. I appreciate it.
All right.
One member comment?
Yes. Mr. Rader?
If you look at, I think it's page 6 of 24, I think it shows you how these fees were arrived at. What it says is it's the minimum time allotted
for each of these various fees. When I think of minimum time, that means to me that there are going to be times when it's going to be more. And so the key question here is, this is not only to recoup fees, but it is also to correct something which has been happening in the past, which is that the fees have been too low. When they're too low, who pays for the excess time? Does anybody know? It's you and I. Every resident is paying for anything over the minimum time. And that is what the crux of the matter is. The crux of the matter is, I believe that if you look at it objectively, when somebody is doing a variance or remodeling, they should be responsible for the total fees involved. It's obvious that's what happens when you go to get a permit from the town. You don't ask the residents to help pay for that fee, and in turn, that is what should be happening here. We have a separate fee in addition to the permit fee, in addition to the town fee. And I believe that the people who are doing the variances, they're entitled to do it, but they should bear the full cost. And so the way this is written, if you look at the basis of the thing, it says the minimum time allowed. That's how, if you look at it, how the fees were structured. So what I was proposing was, there may be other ways to handle it, but if it exceeded the minimum time, that the residents will be charged at the appropriate hourly rate. And that is the basis for what I was bringing forth.
Tony, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. This all presupposes that we know how fees are structured. And I doubt if we really know that. For instance, when we had PCM here, they would take wages and subsistence, what we used to call subsistence, and then they would add burden onto it. So the construction of these fees have to be outlined. What is wages, and do we have anything called burden on it to protect ourselves from oversight? We don't know the structure of the fees, so we have to be careful about what we want for. When we took wages, and then we put what we call subsistence on it. Subsistence was 401k, vacations, pension, health and welfare, and insurance. And then we had wages with subsistence. And then we would either cost plus it, or we would put, PCM used to put burden on it, and they would put 15 to 25%. So our fee structure, we don't understand how the structure is made anyway. So the word minimum doesn't upset me. Thank you.
It says exactly, if you look at the agenda, it says in there how it is structured.
You weren't recognized.
Wait,
May I be recognized?
I think we have staff present that can respond.
But may I make a comment back to Director Liberatore?
No, I'm sorry.
It does say it right in the agenda, how the fee is structured. It's based on the minimum hours times the cost of labor. That's it. It says it right in the agenda.
All right. Anybody, any other comments? And he's not here right now. Oh, he's right.
Yes, he is.
Would you like to make a comment,
Steve's here.
Steve?
Sure, either of us.
Thank you.
So forgive me, but I'm just going to reiterate what Mr. Rader just said. So the calculation is included within the staff report. It states that it's an hourly rate plus burden. So all that number is included along with the number of hours, the minimum that's to be applied. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that means if we have burden in there, we're covered.
Yeah.
Yes.
To an extent. So again, to your point, burden refers to taxes, benefits, so on and so forth. So what Mr. Rader is referring to has to do with if something, I'm just using fake numbers, but if a minimum takes 3 hours to complete, but we have a one-off that's going to take 6 hours to complete. So that additional expense is not covered in the fees. However, what we would caution is if you spend a bunch of time tracking every hour that you spend working, you end up wasting a lot of time. So Based upon staff's assumptions that they're using, we feel that the fee is adequate to be applied. It'll be reviewed in 12 months. If over that time, they'll take a sample over the first 6 months and make a determination that the number of hours it's being applied is proper or improper, and we can reevaluate it at that time. So, but
Thank you.
I'm just,
Steve?
I'm just wondering if the word minimum is the appropriate word or whether we are talking about an average. How do we know the minimum labor required for a transaction, and why would we go with the minimum as opposed to an average? Every time we talk about a minimum, we're also talking about a maximum and an average in between the two. So why specify a minimum, or are we actually talking about an average? Thank you.
Fair questions. Our research, when we went through, in this case, the discussion is on the variance process because that took the largest increase in the fees. Of the cases that we reviewed, several of them were more time than what we inserted into the document. But we felt that there are some that may be less, but by far the average was more. So we felt the word minimum was appropriate. But we are also cognizant of the current fees for the variance process right now is $150. We're proposing that be changed to $430. That's a significant increase. So we are cognizant of the members and the increase in the cost, and we're trying to mitigate that change. We did insert the verbiage that said up to $430. So if on the rare occasion it is less, then we will monitor that and charge less. But we will, right now, we will not charge more. The other factor, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm getting, I keep thinking you're done because I'm, got something I got to say, right? Please continue. I'm so sorry.
The other factor for consideration, thank you, is that the current staff rate of $44.03 an hour is a 2025 rate. That rate is due to go up. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's $44.93 an hour starting in January of next year. If recuperative costs are a concern, then I would recommend that the board consider establishing this policy at the 2026 staff rates versus the 2025 staff rates.
Yes, Elsie.
May I address him directly?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you for all that. That was great, on the one hand. On the other hand, and I appreciate staff's concern for, okay, when you're talking about this particular fee, the people are coming to us, okay? This is a voluntary thing they're doing, right?
It is.
As opposed to fixing an alteration washing machine leak, right? That is not voluntary. That has to be done. And that also requires a fee because it's an alteration. Well, if what I'm concerned about is like giving people a break on a systemic level, like, well, gosh, we're already up to 430 and we don't want to go any higher. And I appreciate that. And I think the 6 months will be a reasonable time to address it. However, while the people involved are addressing it, just remember this is, just look at it with a slightly different eye, that this is a voluntary fee. I mean, even though they may see it as involuntary because they got to pay it, but it really is voluntary because they don't have to be doing the alteration. Did I make that clear?
That is correct.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much, and thanks for all your work, and Steve's too.
Yeah, I would like to, thank you, Chairman Prater. I would like to thank Alan for his work on this, because he went through this in painstaking detail at the committee hearing, and he did try to address our concerns. He must think we're Jekyll and Hyde here, because at the committee hearing, because it had been a 7-year gap, that is a significant jump, and we were concerned about the sticker shock. And we do want people to upgrade their homes, and they will upgrade it, but we've heard people complain that it's
I take
way too
umbrage
high.
with the word upgrade because it makes my house sound like it's substandard, and I don't believe
Modify.
that it is.
Yes, or whatever.
And I don't encourage anybody to do that, but if you do,
Okay.
that's great.
Or anyway, what I would like to say is I'm comfortable with your explanation, and I hope we adopt this as is.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. This is quite a lot of work. All right, are we ready to vote? Paul, my screen is bouncing.
Oh, yes.
It is bouncing.
What have you done to it? It's going crazy. My wife's, wow.
Hold on here, let me fix this. There we go. I think I got it.
Let's see what happens here.
Let's see if I can
Try the mouse.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
A moment of sheer hysteria.
All right.
I apologize. I do have a clarification question. What you are approving is the rates at 2025 rates. Is there any consideration at this time of amending that to the 2026 rates? That's my only clarification question.
Have I put it out for a vote yet?
We're going to have to refer it to the committee.
Okay.
Chairman Prater?
Yes.
Can we not amend this when it comes up 28 days, in 28 days?
Right.
We could make an amendment at that time to adopt the fees.
Okay.
The rate at that time.
Okay.
So
And in that
we have an
interim,
amendment to add to that?
Well, wait, Anthony, can we do that?
Okay, when it comes out.
I mean, can we do that
We do it all the time.
at 28?
At 28 days, yes.
Or,
Want to need another 28 days?
Tony, can we do a 2/3 vote? To,
You mean now?
yeah, to revote?
Well, we just voted for it, right?
What you guys could do is, because, like you said, it's on 28-day notification, at the December board meeting, someone can make a motion to amend it so that it's for 2026, right? Right. And not 2025, and then you can make a motion to approve it as amended.
We
Okay.
don't need the
We don't need an
two-thirds.
extra month. Okay, that's good. Okay.
Okay. So it passed, is that correct, Paul? That passed? Okay.
All right.
All right, now we have another motion for collection and lien enforcement policy?
Right. Whereas, in accordance with California Civil Code, United Laguna Woods Mutual maintains a collection and lien enforcement policy that outlines the procedures, policies, and practices employed by the mutual in enforcing lien rights or other legal remedies for default in payment of assessments. And whereas legal counsel has reviewed the existing collection and lien enforcement policy and determined that the policy complies with civil code requirements and reflects current practices for collection of mutual delinquencies. Now therefore be it resolved November 13, 2025, that the Board of Directors hereby adopts the 2026 United Laguna Woods Mutual Collection and Lien Enforcement Policy as attached to the official minutes of this meeting. And resolve further, the policy statement is provided pursuant to the requirements of California Civil Code Section 5310A7 and will be distributed to members in November 2025 as part of the annual policy statement. Resolve further that Resolution 012471, adopted July 9, 2024, is hereby superseded and canceled on the effective date of January 1, 2026. Resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move this resolution.
Do we have a second? Kathy, thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, so we should vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Okay, now we have the motion for the fruit and tree vegetable policy.
12E, page 3 of 14, Resolution 0125XX, Fruit Tree and Vegetable Policy. Whereas fruit trees in the common area were planted by or at the request of members as part of the discontinued Yellow Stake program, and whereas fruit trees are not maintained and trimmed by the mutual and are the sole responsibility of the member to maintain and must be tagged by the member or their successor, and whereas fruit trees and vegetable plants are known attractants and food sources for wildlife, rodents, and of whom rodents and coyotes are a member, and and unmaintained fruit trees exacerbate the issues, and whereas 2 garden centers have been provided by the Golden Rain Foundation for the purpose of providing a place for residents to grow vegetables and food crops. Now therefore be it resolved on December 9, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation adopts the revised fruit, tree, and vegetable policy prohibiting the planting of fruit, trees, vegetables, and other food crops in common area, and requires members to tag and maintain existing fruit trees located in the common area or exclusive use common area, and resolve further the planting of vegetables and new fruit trees in common area is prohibited as above, and resolve further the maintenance of fruit trees cannot be passed on to new members with the purchase of the residents, and resolve further existing fruit trees in the common area and exclusive use common area are to be removed at resale at no cost to the member, and resolve further that vegetable plantings in common area are prohibited and to be removed upon discovery at no cost to the member, and resolve further to maintain the health and safety of members. Fruit trees found to be unmaintained will be removed after notice by the mutual at no cost to the member. Resolve further, members may request the removal of fruit trees located in the common area or exclusive use common area at any time, and be removable by the mutual at no cost to the member. Resolve further, fruit tree maintenance shall be defined in the attached fruit tree maintenance policy, and resolve further Resolution 012552, effective May 13, 2025, is hereby superseded in its entirety and no longer in effect, And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. November initial notification. We pass this today, and then we hold the resolution over to the next available meeting, no less than 28 days from the postponement, to comply with Civil Code 4360. I move this resolution.
And do we have a second? Thank you, Elsie. We vote.
Any discussion?
Discussion? Sorry.
Just to recap in my own head, what I heard is that with regard to the exclusive zones, we are allowing residents to plant fruit trees, but upon resale, all those fruit trees, old or new, have to be removed.
No, it says on the fourth paragraph, sixth paragraph, resolve further the planting of vegetables and new fruit trees in common area is prohibited.
No, I'm talking about exclusive areas, not the common.
You mean like patios?
A patio.
Yeah.
A patio, it would be in a bowl.
It'd be a potted plant.
Or something like that. It
Well,
would be
in the
inside.
exclusive areas, you can also plant trees.
No.
No?
No.
Well, fruit trees attract things like rats. Why would it be more?
So you're saying exclusive areas have no fruit trees at this moment?
Felice here from our landscape department. And if she would like to try to address it, and I'll try to help her out.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Megan. I'm one of the landscape managers here. So for exclusive use area, currently you can have it in a pot. Within the new policy, that's no longer going to be allowed. And if you have one in a pot upon resale, that will need to go with them.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
But what about in the ground as well? There's no, you can't put in new,
Fruit trees in common area are no longer allowed.
no, not common area, in exclusive use area. That new trees are forbidden, right?
Correct, in all areas.
Ah, good, okay.
Yes.
Kathy, yes.
Yes, because I have a 6-foot strip in my front patio that is dirt, and I put plants in it that I like. So I may not put a fruit tree in there.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Thank you. Good question.
I'd like some clarification. My neighbors plant tomatoes, and they're year-round. So they're going to be told that they have to remove those?
Yes.
Oh, Jenny's going to be so
Yeah,
upset.
that's been standard fruit.
Right.
Vegetables are a no.
No, yeah.
Really? She's been doing this for years?
Well.
And maintenance?
Well, we don't have a plant police.
Okay, all righty, then I will let her know that it's going to have to go away.
Right,
and
right. Or
She's
you
going to be
could-
very sad.
Or you could simply call compliance and have them do it for you.
So, sorry.
No,
Okay.
that's too sneaky.
Yeah.
I would prefer speaking to Jenny.
Right.
And letting her know that she can no longer plant those. Oh, okay, thank you very much.
Okay, if we could,
Wait a minute, Director Elsie had her hand up first.
Just make sure you tell your neighbor that it's been several years that that's been, I
Right.
shouldn't say illegal, but
Yes.
it's been, and if it's too sad, just say, just think about all those years you didn't get caught. Well, really.
True.
Makes them feel better.
may I?
Yes, please go ahead, Sue.
Be recognized? I guess we're trying to address the rodent issue that we have, and we're also trying to address the coyote situation. And the best way we can do that is to deplete their food source. And so that is what we're trying to do. We have instructed staff that if they see vegetation like, cucumbers, whatever, they are to pull it. They are to get rid of it because we just cannot have this going on. And they also, residents who really want this can go to the garden centers and put their names on the list to get a garden. It's just not fair to the rest of the community.
Yes,
Just one other thing. In driving around today, I've noticed a number of owners, residents, putting signs up on their trees, private property, do not touch. Are we going to address that for those people if someone goes by and picks a orange or a lemon or something? Because they do get kind of angry if they see someone. And I know it has already been voted that it's in the common area, so we can pick one. Don't pick all of them, but pick one. But signs are starting to go up now that the fruit is coming out on the trees.
Megan can voice this too, but we got complaints about that all the time. We sent it to our attorney, and the attorney advised that per common law, that does not belong to us. So people who have put the money in to plant that tree, to care for that tree, they are very upset when somebody comes and picks it. So we have to tell them, I am sorry, this is on community property, it belongs to the community. It's very upsetting, but that's the way the law is.
Director Qualm is correct. Your attorney has weighed in on that, and we've also ran a Breeze article. So if you so direct, we can run that again at any standpoint, maybe after this policy goes through.
that's correct. Any other discussion? Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we can vote, please.
Okay.
Motion passes.
All right. All right, if we have entertain a motion to approve temporary borrowing, I think Steve Hormock will approach and talk to us about this.
Sure thing. So staff recommends that the board approve the temporary borrowing of $4,500,000 by the operating fund from the reserve fund to meet cash flow needs resulting from a combination of the prepaid property insurance and the prior year operating loss. The temporary borrowing funds will be used to pay for the property taxes that are due in December. Payback of the borrowing funds to the reserve fund is planned for 3 months, but not to exceed 1 year. So just as a reminder, just history on this, we've been doing this now for 5 years. So the issue has to do with the fact that you have a substantial amount of money that is tied up on your prepaid property insurance, so to the tune of about $1.3 million. There's also some prior year losses that have, as a result, decreased the amount of available cash you have in your operating fund. So the intent of this is to replenish temporarily the balance in the operating fund. That way we can make the about $8 million payment to your property insurance on December 4th. And once again, that'll be paid back to the reserve fund within approximately 3 months. In each instance, when we brought this forward to you, we do it twice a year, both for the purpose of the property taxes. In each of those instances over the past 5 years, we've committed to paying it back within a certain duration, this being 3 months. Each time we've succeeded in doing so. We regularly provide a cash flow forecast to the previously President Prater, who was formerly the treasurer, and now with Director Esquespi. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to address them. Please know that this is allowed by Civil Code, and it's become standard practice over the past 5 years. But we are obligated anytime that we are going to be moving money from the reserve fund to the operating fund, a temporary borrowing, that it is approved by the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, Resolution 0125XX, temporary borrowing. Whereas pursuant to Civil Code Section 5515, the Board of Directors may authorize a temporary transfer of monies from a reserve fund to an association's operating fund to meet short-term cash flow requirements or other expenses. If the Board of Directors has provided notice of the intent to consider the transfer in a board meeting notice pursuant to Section 4920. And whereas the notice required pursuant to 4920 has been provided in the agenda for this Board of Directors meeting, And whereas it has become necessary to temporarily transfer monies from the reserve fund to the operating fund to meet cash flow needs due to, 1, timing differences in when property insurance premiums are paid versus when they are collected from residents through monthly assessments. 2, the operating loss occurring in 2024. And whereas the amount of funds needed to be temporarily transferred from the reserve fund to the operating fund has been determined to be $4,500,000, and the repayment plan is scheduled for 3 months, but may not exceed the maximum period of 1 year from the date of approval. And whereas it is planned and anticipated that sufficient cash flow will be generated in the operating fund from resident assessments to repay the borrowed monies to the reserve fund, therefore a special assessment will not be needed. And now therefore be it resolved November 13, 2025, that the transfer of $4,500,000 as a temporary transfer from the reserve fund to the operating fund for the reasons stated herein, and with the plan to repay within 3 months, but no later than 1 year from this date, is hereby authorized, and resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move this resolution.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Georgiana, thank you. Now we vote. No discussion? Any discussion? Okay,
I sort of just have a question. Supposedly, or it looks like more money will be going into, we're updating expenses and stuff like that. So as more money comes in the coming year, are we still going to want to borrow that much next year for the property tax?
Presumably, the answer is yes. The way to avoid that on a go-forward basis is to increase your contributions to your contingency fund. So that's a way to increase the available funds in the operating account. Based upon our past discussions during the budget season, we decided that while, yes, we were going to contribute to the contingency fund, it wasn't as necessary to contribute the millions of dollars that would be needed to offset this balance. So short answer to your question is yes, you are contributing. It will potentially bring the balance down. It's all going to be dependent upon the course of the year, how much money, how much revenue you bring in versus how much you expend. If we continue to have unfavorable variances, you're going to have less cash on hand and we'll need to continue borrowing at this level.
Well, then maybe we need to start reducing some of our expenses.
But that doesn't work, unfortunately, because we only bring in enough revenue to offset those expenses. The only way to prevent, and this is not a problem, this is allowed by Civil Code, the board can make the choice to contribute heavily into the contingency fund to have a large balance of cash available to avoid this temporary difference. Again, lowering your expenses, we would equally lower your revenue contributions. So that won't do the offset. Contingency fund is the only way to avoid this issue. But again, it's only an issue if you deem it to be an issue. It's completely allowable by Civil Code. The only reason why we're coming here is because Civil Code requires that we bring it to your attention and get board approval.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. All right, we will vote.
We're still waiting on Sue, I believe. Oh,
No,
she already
on there.
voted. I'm sorry, she already voted.
She voted. We're waiting for
Waiting for Elsie.
Oh, there we go.
Good Lord. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Thank you. All right, now we get to the committee
done with
reports.
that.
Would you like to take a quick 5-minute recess for anyone who uses the restrooms?
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. We were recessed for 5 minutes. Thank you. call the meeting back to order. Thank you. Before we hear from the Finance Committee, I think we have a member comment that got overlooked. So Paul is going to read the member comment.
Okay. Let's see here. At a recent GRF Finance Committee meeting, the mandatory facilities fee is also known as the transfer fee that is payable at the time of the sale to any village resident property, co-op, condo, or house. The fee is presently $7,500. United Mutual's president and treasurer proposed to GRF raising this fee to 2% of a village unit's sale prices in excess of $200,000. Laguna Woods presently has properties for sale for up to $2.25 million. On a $500,000 resale, the 2% fee would be $10,000. On a $750,000 resale, the fee would be $15,000. On a 1.2 million resale, the fee would be $24,000. On a 2 million resale fee, the resale fee would be $40,000. Did this board present this fee proposal to United board members for input / comment at a United meeting, or just the United Town Hall? Did the United board review and approve this 2% proposal before the United president and treasurer proposed this to the GRF board? What is the current status of the facilities fund fee increase? And that's it.
Okay, yeah.
That is a GRF
GRF.
issue, and so we can say out
Thank
of
you.
our realm. Thank you.
We can thank you for your comment, and that is a GRF issue. All right, we're going to go forward now. We now have the finance report by Director Askme.
Oh, not you.
No, it's not me.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met under your chairmanship on September 30th and reviewed the August financial statements. It also approved a motion to accept staff recommendation to update the collection and lien enforcement policy, which we voted upon a few minutes ago. So thank you for that. The Finance Committee also met in a closed session on November 6th. The next meeting of the open session is on December 4th, 2025. I move to the Treasury report. The first slide in front of you shows total revenue, that is to say, both operating and reserve revenue of $46.4 million, and compared to total expenses, both operating and reserve, of $45.4 million, resulting in an excess of revenue over expenses of $966,000. Now, the second slide shows the operating fund only, not the reserve. So for the 9-month period ended September 30, we show that we have revenue in the operating fund of $22.1 million, assessment revenue and non-assessment revenue 1.2 for a total of $23.3 million, with total expenses of $23.1 million, resulting in an excess of revenue over expenses of $212,000. So that means that we have an excess in reserve of $754,000, because the total, as we said, is $966,000. Moving on to the next slide, this one shows the actual versus budget. You see at the bottom of the first column that excess of $966,000 compared to budget, and it shows that we have a favorable variance of $274,000 when comparing actual to budget. What I would like to point out here is that while we have a favorable variance of $274,000, it is a combination of an operating deficit of $900,000 and a reserve favorable variance of $1.12 million. And I will explain why that is in the next slide, please. In this slide, I'm going to start first with the expected. You look at insurance, property insurance, and there is a favorable of $349,000. We entered into a very good policy with Third. It went into effect in June 1, and that favorable impact was not in the 2025 budget, and that is why you see this favorable. Next year, you won't see it because we did budget that favorable impact in the 26 budget. So yes, we have a favorable impact from that property insurance of $349,000. Well, another item that was somewhat expected was the utilities impact. We have unfavorable in utilities of $375,000. The bulk of that, $280,000, comes from water. And about $80,000 comes from trash, and only about $11,000 comes from electricity. So by far, water is our main problem. And that is why I'm excited, Mr. President, that you are considering upgrading the Energy Subcommittee to a Utilities Committee that would also look into water, which appears to be a significant issue going forward, especially knowing that our rates will increase by 20% next year. Now I will move to things that were less expected, starting with the two top items, materials and supplies and employee compensation. They're both favorable, and one could look at it and see it as a good thing, but it may not be, because both these items relate to reserves. These items relate to scheduled work that was supposed to occur, including plumbing, and did not occur. There are other factors, such as open positions in employee compensation and other factors also, but a significant factor is what I've just described. The reserves are favorable because scheduled work was deferred. While the reserve work was deferred, we were busy doing emergency work, which shows in the outside services line, which is unfavorable by $1 million. So that included moisture intrusion events that were not planned for. They also involved emergency plumbing incidents that were not budgeted for. So the point I want to make here is that there's less work being done on scheduled work and more work being done on emergency work. The less work we do on scheduled, the more emergency we'll have, because if we don't schedule plumbing work that was scheduled and do it, then there will be higher probability for emergency work to occur in that plumbing area. So it's a bit of a vicious circle. And the recommendation one would make to the Maintenance and Construction Committee when looking at this is to actually accelerate, not defer, accelerate the work in the reserves. So we want to show less green when it comes to reserves, and so that we are actually ahead of schedule, as opposed to the delay we are looking at here in the top two things, and so that hopefully we can reduce the emergency work we're doing at the bottom in the outside services. Moving on to slide 5. This shows our non-assessment revenue of about $1.6 million. And as you can see, the main items are fees and charges and investment income. Let's move to slide 6 so we can see some details. I want to highlight just the two top lines here. Investment income is down by $82,000 when you compare actual to budget. And that is because interest rates are going down, and our yield on our investments is also going down as a result. The second line has to do with sales and leasing fees. It's only down by $17,000, but it's actually a combination of two different things. Resales are down, but leases are up. So when you look at fees associated with resales, permit fees are down 37,000, inspection fees are down 16,000, resale processing fees are down 21,000 because, as we will see later in this presentation, resale transactions are down. But leases are up, rentals are up, and that is why lease processing fees are up almost 20,000. Moving on to 7. Here we look at our expenses of $45.4 million in total. And as you can see, employee compensation comes first at 27%, followed by property tax, which is really a pass-through for 25%. Moving to slide 8, where we can look at some details here. If you look at the 25 year-to-date variance, you recognize the numbers we looked at earlier, where the 487 and the 349 were from reserve, and we see favorable, and the outside services from operating is down $1 million. I want to highlight a couple items here. If you compare actual for 24, the first 9 months of 24, to the first 9 months of 25. For employee compensation, you'll see that while doing less work in reserve, we are up from $10.8 million to $12.1 million. So we're paying more for less. If you look at outside services, same thing. Costs for the 9 months, 24 versus 25, up from $7.2 million to $9.3 million. And that work, that extra work, was not done to further, it was actually done to deal with emergency work that shouldn't have been there, but was there above budget. Moving on to slide 9. Here you see the reserve, starting with $13 million and ending 9 months later with $13.7 million. The reason for that, the reason the reserve increased, is because work got delayed, as I mentioned. This number should have been down, not up. But because the scheduled work was delayed, while the emergency work was being done instead, you have this buildup in reserve. So in the following slide, in 10, it shows as if the reserve is doing better, but just an optical illusion due to the deferral of reserve work. Once we catch up with that reserve work, the reserve balance should go down as expected. In this slide, you see the temporary borrowing that the board approved back in April of this year for $6.5 million to pay property taxes. And you see the installments that were basically transfers from operating back to reserve, where the money was, that occurred over time since then. Since September 29th, the VMS made another $1 million transfer from operating to reserve. So I'm happy to report that as of October 31st, 2025, the full $6.5 million was paid back to the reserve fund. And finally, this slide shows our resales for the 9 months ended September compared to the same period last year. As I mentioned earlier, resales are down. They're down 32 transactions when comparing the two periods, while the average resale value has been fairly flat. In the meantime, while resale transactions are down by 32, rental transactions in the same period are up by 43. So again, there's this trend going on where resale transactions are not increasing but decreasing, while residents are preferring to rent instead. And that is why we see our rental transactions going in the positive direction. And that is my report, Mr. President.
That includes the treasurer's report. Do we have a United Finance Committee report? That was part of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we went to the real estate lease report. Okay. We're going to look at some of the other committees. Director Liberatore from Agricultural Control and Standards.
Thank you, Mr. President. We didn't have an October meeting, but we were going to have one in November 20th. And for the people at home, we're going to be revisiting Standard 39, solar panels, which seems to be a hot topic here in the village. So it's an open meeting, and please attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Backwell, hearing committees?
Oh, yes, the hearing committees, we heard people and we assessed them fines where they were needed and assessed them bills where they were needed. And we meet in secret. Thank you.
Thank you. We have government documents report, Director Backwell.
Yes, we did not have a governing documents committee meeting in November, but we will have one soon.
November 20th, it looks like.
Right.
Okay.
So, but not in October. But all our governing documents are still copacetic at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Quam, we have landscape committee report.
As you can see, Inspector Quam has stepped away from her desk. She is attempting to stand away from her desk, but I'm also on her committee, and so I'm going to give the report.
Thank you.
The committee met on October 27, 2025. Next meeting is November 24th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom and as virtual meeting. So I'm sorry that ran on so long, but that concludes my report.
No problem. Maintenance and construction. We do have a director who is not here. Rod, is there anything to report on the maintenance and construction?
No, Mr. President.
Okay. Tony, I have an energy and subcommittee report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, we did give a report to the M&C committee that we were working on their behest and that we have some information and recommendations to forward to them. And our next meeting is on our next meeting, I don't see it here.
Is it October 13th?
Yeah.
October 13th at 1:30 p.m.
Yeah. Guess what?
Why is
It should be November.
Why does this say October?
It does say the next meeting's to be determined, so it appears that the subcommittee
There we go.
maybe didn't determine.
Okay, there we go. Read the small print. Director Willis from the Resident Advisory Committee.
Yes, the next meeting is December 11th at 4 p.m. in the Elm Room. And again, if anyone out there has issues that haven't been resolved, we'll come and meet with a few of us directors and we'll try and expedite it.
Thank you. Now we have some GRF committee highlights. Again, we are missing the directors that attend these meetings. The Finance Committee, did we have anything to say about the GRF Finance?
Yes, Mr. President, the GRF Finance Committee met on October 15, 25 and approved the preliminary September financial statements. The committee also met on October 27th on a special open session and recommended to the full GRF board that The trust facilities fee be increased from $7,500 to $10,000, effective January 1, 26. The full GRF board met on November 4th and approved the committee's recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much. We have the Community Activities Committee. Elsie, do we have anything on that? It's item B? No? Okay,
I forgot to check with no,
okay,
don't have a
no
darn
problem.
thing.
Yeah, so there's no meeting this month, and the next meeting will be on December 11th.
There we go. GRF Landscape Committee was also Director Com. The next meeting will be November 17th in the boardroom. Is that correct? Okay. That's at 1:30. Now we have the GRF Maintenance and Construction Committee. Our director is not here. Elsie, did you happen to go to that meeting by chance? Probably not.
No.
Okay.
I'm not
that's
on
fine.
that, I'm not on, I fell down on the community activities meeting. I do remember that meeting, but I didn't prepare a report,
That's okay.
and I'm not on that.
Okay.
Committee.
Their next meeting for the Maintenance and GRF Maintenance Committee is December 10th at 9:30 a.m. in this room. Okay?
Oh, that's M&C?
And that's M&C.
Okay.
Okay. The Space Planning Ad Hoc Committee will be the same thing. Okay, she's not here. Mobility and Vehicles Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll report since she's not here.
Oh, good.
The meeting was canceled, and I don't know why, because it's a real issue. When we discussed back in August, I think it was, we filled the room up with people about the bus situation.
That's correct.
And I was anxious to have the meeting to see because we have a pilot program going on right now where bus service has been reduced to save money. And so our next meeting will be in December here. So I invite people at home who are listening in, if you have some issues with the bus service, please attend that meeting. It's an open meeting. Thank you.
Right, and that's December 3rd at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Kathy?
Tony, I can let you know of an incident that occurred just a couple weeks ago. As you know, Bus 6 has been out of commission, and people were waiting for Bus 6, and they were finally told by another bus driver that you have to take Bus 3. And so my sister, who uses a walker and oxygen, there was some confusion. They were not notified. They were outside Clubhouse 1. My sister and another lady had to literally sit for over an hour in the heat. And that is an issue when the buses stop running for maintenance and for other things. The people who do ride them, and not necessarily every week, they're not getting informed. And it was they were very happy when the other bus driver, Bus 5 or whatever it was, did let them know that you have to take Bus 3. However, they were told after Bus 3 left, so they had to sit and wait.
No.
And that's why it was, such a delay. And people on oxygen, with the battery packs, if you don't bring enough, you run out of oxygen. It can be a very serious issue. So that is one complaint, Tony, that occurred recently. So I am sorry that meeting was canceled, because I think some people would have shown up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But it will be in December, right?
Yes.
December 3rd,
Okay.
1:30 p.m., and this will be in this room here, in the boardroom. Okay, Rebecca Plum's not here. Report for the Security and Community Access Committee. Murad, did you happen to catch that meeting?
No, it was not.
No, we
Mr.
didn't.
President.
Okay, Nikki's not here. We'll go on. Village traffic hearings, Director Blackwell.
Oh, yes. We did find a few people that ran stop signs and so on, and we did find that the filming was very persuasive. And so we will be collecting money for GRF for those infringements. Thank you.
Thank you. Can't dispute a film. Disaster preparedness, Director Willis?
Yes, the next meeting is November 25th, and it's at 9:30 in the morning here in the boardroom.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Just an update to that one. So they canceled it yesterday. So there's no meeting in November for disaster preparedness. So it looks like the next meeting will be January 27th, 2026.
January 27th. Thank you, Paul. All right. Do we have an Information Technology Advisory Committee?
Yes, Mr. President. The minutes are not available yet, but the ERP program was discussed during that meeting. Phase 1 has been delivered, as you know. Phase 2 is in progress. Many modules and features were implemented, such as vendor ACH payments and accounts payable. And going forward, the CRM and field service modules are scheduled for deployment over the next 9 months.
Thank you for the update. All right, now we have future agenda items. This list is under future agenda items and resolutions on the 28th day review. For future board meetings, no action will be taken by the board on these agenda items at this meeting. The board will take action on these items at a future meeting. There's 3 items here: amended vehicle parking and traffic rules. We have approval of the revision of the alteration fee schedule, and we also have fruit tree and vegetable policy. Okay. At this time, we will have director comments. If the directors would like to say something, we'll start over with Kathy.
I just want to say that I'm looking forward to whatever new assignments you plan on giving me so that I can put them on my schedule and show up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elsa?
No comments, good meeting.
Okay, Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to comment on the employee awards thing over at Clubhouse 7. I was really impressed to see what we have in terms of our employees. I really was impressed by that and the way it was done by staff. So I wish more people, third was present really well. And I'm telling you, to see the people we have working for us, you get a better understanding and appreciation of their love and care for us. Thank you.
I agree. Maggie, you have a comment?
No comments. Thank you.
Moran?
Mr. President, I just want to highlight again that the Maintenance and Construction Committee should certainly consider and look into delays occurring on the reserve side of the business and as opposed to the operating, and make sure that we're not too far behind on the reserve side, because that can only be at the detriment of our operating fund. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Georgiana?
I just, as we're getting closer to Thanksgiving, I just say to everyone, have a really great Thanksgiving. We have much to be thankful for.
Thank you.
That's right. Okay. No more comments, and I think right now we will recess for lunch, and we will go to the closed section upstairs.
What time did you want us to reconvene at? Want to take like half hour? Or do like
You would give it a half hour. That'd be
so
fine.
like
At
12:15?
12:15 would be fine.
Okay.
Thank you.